The censored book. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today we have with us the author of the censored book, The Call of the Wild, Jack London. Thank you for being with us today, Jack.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us about yourself, Jack.
Well, I was born in San Francisco. I was part of the working class. I hopped trains to other places. I pirated oysters, shoveled coal, and worked on a ship. In my free time, I went to the library and read novels and travel books. I wrote small books, and they were not very successful until I sailed to the Klondike Gold Rush. Like many others, I suffered in this gold rush and developed scurvy. I lost my front 4 teeth from this, but this was the setting for my first successful books.
Give us a brief look into your book, The Call of the Wild.
Well, my book, The Call of the Wild, was my first successful book. This book entails the life of a dog named Buck. Buck was born into luxury, a family dog, and had much freedom. He was then betrayed and sold to be a sledge dog in the harshly weathered Yukon. My book follows Buck through his story of rising above all of his enemies to become highly feared and admired by dogs in the North.
What topics were brought up in your book that made this book so controversial?
Well, in my book, the main character, Buck, is a dog. Therefore, the book was classified as a children's book, when in fact my book addresses many dark and scary truths. The book contains mature concepts and describes many fights involving cruel conditions.
Do you think that if your book had been classified as an adult book, that it would have been censored?
I think that it would still be challenged because although the harsh and violent conditions depicted in my book are based on a reality, I don't think all people enjoy reading about them. This book was based on a period of time that was not so happy. I did not try to sugarcoat the harsh facts in my book. Therefore, people wanted to forget about this dark past rather than acknowledge that it really happened. Although many people did enjoy my book, there will always be those certain people who do not want to be exposed to certain circumstances.
Where was your book censored?
Well, my book was commonly challenged in the U.S. Although my writing was not favored in many European dictatorships, resulting in censoring all of my works of literature. Italy and Yugoslavia banned this book for being too radical. The Nazi Party burned many of my books because I had an infamous reputation as an outspoken socialist.
Do you understand why your book was censored, or do you think there is no valid reason?
I understand the controversy when the book is considered a children's book because brutal fights and bad situations are described in my book. If a child read this book, I would understand that a fear of dogs could possibly develop. But I believe that it is the parents' responsibility to censor books for adult children.
If you could go back and make this story less brutal to avoid censorship, would you?
No. Although many people had problems with my book, some people enjoyed it and applauded its honesty. I wanted to show what a sled dog really went through, not some made-up story.
All right. Thank you for being with us today.